What's going on, guys? Jonathan Beasley back again. Today we're talking about house hacking.
Hackerman. He's the most powerful hacker of all time.
Today is all about a step-by-step overview to house hacking. I'm going to explain why this is the best way to invest in real estate, especially in today's market, and it starts now. So 2 big reasons I recommend house hacking. The first is it can allow you to get started with virtually no, well, if you're a VA buyer, military buyer, no money down, and if you're a normal civilian buyer, as little as 3.5% down, which is crazy to think about getting into real estate investing and ownership with like 3.5% or 0% down. Second, it's a process you can duplicate over and over and over ad infinitum. You can buy houses, move into the next one, and build your portfolio relatively seamless and without a ton of money stacked up in the bank for down payment. So with that said, if you like this video, please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell. My goal here is to help you build passive income, and so if I'm doing that, please help us out with the likes and the subs. So step number 1 of house hacking is getting pre-approved, and not just getting pre-approved, but getting pre-approved for the right loan. As I mentioned, low money down is one of the key levers or points of leverage for house hacking. The reason house hacking is so awesome is it gives you the ability to invest in a property with a very low down payment, which is really, really good leverage. For example, if you were to go and say, hey, I want to buy this fourplex, but you weren't going to move into it, you weren't going to live in it, you'd have to put 25 to 30% down. So think about that. That means on a $400,000 fourplex, you'd have to put like $100,000 to $125,000 down as a down payment in order to be able to purchase and close on that fourplex. However, if you have the house hacking strategy, you can get in that same $400,000 quadplex for as little as 3.5% down or 0 down if you're active duty or prior military with VA eligibility. That means the same $400,000 property, you could purchase it for $0 to $15,000 of your own money, which is just freaking mind-blowing. I wish I would have known this when I was 18. So it's crucial to go in, sit down with a loan officer, figure out what your loan options are, how much you can get approved for, so that you know how much property you can buy and you can know what you can qualify for in terms of loan programs, an FHA loan, a VA loan, a conventional 5% down loan, and so forth. Now, if you do an FHA loan, you can definitely do 3.5% down. And if you do a conventional loan, you can definitely get it for as little as 5% down. So living in the property gives you great loan down payment options when compared to a traditional investor loan. But you've got to make sure that you get pre-approved so that we know from the outset what your investing budget really is. It's like a kid going into a candy store. You got to know how many dollars you have so you know how much candy you can walk out with. One of the big concerns people have with putting a low down payment is they say, well, cool, Jonathan, that's all fine and well, but won't I have to pay mortgage insurance? I actually get this question all the time because people, PMI, private mortgage insurance, people hate the thought of it. So isn't that a bad thing? Well, my response is not necessarily. Now, it's always a bummer that you're going to have to pay PMI, but what if you don't have to pay it? Investing is simply a numbers game, and so if we find a property where the numbers work, it's always better to get into a property where the numbers work with only $15,000 down rather than $100,000 down. But what if the property numbers work so well that you don't even have to pay the PMI? This is why house hacking is so huge. If we're really able to find like a home run deal, and this can particularly work with a 3-unit or a 4-unit property, you may be able to get rid of your entire mortgage payment almost completely with the rent from the other units that you're renting out. So in that case, are you really paying private mortgage insurance? You're writing a check to the bank for private mortgage insurance, but your renters are paying you the money to write the check. So your renters are really paying it for you. So that brings me to the different approaches to house hacking. Should we go single family? Should we go duplex, triplex? Should we go quadplex? The first way is using a single family home and then renting out portions of the home, such as renting out the spare rooms. I actually know one guy, he's a student of mine. He actually rents out his living room. So he rented out his bedrooms and then he rents out his living room as well, which I think is a cool hustle as long as you don't mind tripping over your roommate in the middle of the night. But he actually gets paid to live in the house. Now, if you're thinking single family is a good option, think twice if you're married and your wife's not on board. My wife was not on board. She was not down for having people under the same roof. So when we did it, we actually decided to house hack buying a property that had an ADU or an accessory dwelling unit that was a completely detached separate property. property. So we weren't sharing a front door, we weren't sharing a bathroom, things like that. Ironically, I'm actually flipping a property in Norfolk just like this. It has a beautiful ADU. By the time we're done with the property, it's probably gonna get listed for about $350,000, and the ADU will probably rent for $1,300 to $1,400 a month. You can rent for even more if someone's willing to furnish it and make it into like an Airbnb. And the main house has 4 bedrooms. So think about that. What's killer about this is it's a 4-bedroom main house. So someone could easily bring in, let's say, 2 roommates and rent out 2 rooms in the main house.
Hi, Pearl. You don't have to raise your voice.
You pay you!
I can give you half.
You pay no,
Hey, don't talk to me like that, okay?
I'm this.
And then they have the ADU that they could also rent out for like $1,200 to $1,300 a month and get in this property for as little as 0 to 3.5% down and have no mortgage payment. There's no other real estate strategy that will afford you options and returns like this. So now I get asked a lot, well, if 2 units is better than 1 and 3 units is better than 2, why not do a 5 unit or a 10 unit? Well, here's the deal. You can only get owner-occupied financing, or I should say a residential loan, if you're going to live in it and it's 4 units or under. Anything 5 units or above is considered a commercial mortgage. And so when you're trying to house hack and you're thinking about removing this large mortgage or rental expense from your budget, you need to be thinking of either a single family, a duplex, a triplex, or a 4plex, and you have to live in there at least at the time that you're getting the loan. Anything above 5 units is considered a commercial or investor loan, and your down payment jumps from 0, 3.5% to 25, 30%. Some of you might also be wondering, should I get a realtor? And here is my shameless plug. Is it really required to get a realtor? Here's my answer. If you're in the Hampton Roads area, you should definitely engage my team to help you. We have a unique passion for real estate investing. Personally, I just love seeing young men and young families get involved in real estate very early on in their journey because I know how it compounds over time. We also have a ton of educational resources that we can offer throughout the process so that you can continue your education as a real estate investor, because that's really what you are. When you decide to house hack, you're becoming a real estate investor. So if you're in the Hampton Roads area and you want to engage the #1 house hacking team in the area, please click the link below and let's get connected. But back to the video. So here's our order of things. You're pre-approved now. You're dialing in the criteria on whether you want a single family with an ADU, a 2 unit, a 3 unit, a 4 unit. You're engaged with an investor-friendly agent. So the next step now is to analyze deals, and the best way to do that is to get on a property feed and review every listing that comes up, any listing that's remotely close to the criteria that you've established. You want to start playing with a mortgage calculator and running number scenarios about what you think you would get in terms of rent and how close to 0 you could get your mortgage payment or your house payment, let's say. So the crazy thing is the market is ripe for this strategy right now. It's really, really perfect. It's like prime for house hacking. You have so many options. You're not nearly as limited as you were even like 4 or 5 months ago because listings are coming back online. And yes, interest rates are definitely on the climb, but prices are also dropping probably at the same pace and offsetting those increased in interest rates. So what's even cooler is that for those smart and bold house hackers, the folks that are locking in really good prices right now in this downturn, they will be refinancing 18 months from now, and what was like a pretty good deal is going to be a ridiculous home run because you had the fortitude to take action when everyone is telling you not to. So I hope all the crazy noise about the economy and interest rates doesn't stop you from plunging ahead first into a house hack. How would you decide if you're house hacking successfully or not? For me, here's my criteria. If you're doing it effectively, you have significantly lowered your living expenses. So your rent or your mortgage payment usually represents one of the largest, if not the largest, singular expense line on your budget. So if you're able to take a big bite out of that or remove it entirely and do it with a small down payment, then you are lowering your risk. You are not increasing your risk. So don't let the fear mongers convince you that investing in a home right now is a dangerous proposition. Nothing could be further from the truth as long as you're doing it smartly. What do you guys think? Do you have any questions about house hacking? If you're local to Hampton Roads, do you want to set up a call? I'd love to. If so, let me know in the comments below and let's get up. Other than that, until next time, I'm Jonathan Beasley, your insider into the world of house hacking, signing off.